On today's episode of the Views from Section 400 podcast, it's a full recap of all the action from the AFC and NFC Championship game. Sam Darnold, Drake May, Super Bowl 60. Ew. We have an Australian Open update with our guy Steve. Just launched his own podcast, the Drop Shot Podcast, on Spotify and Apple Music. We talk about the tournament thus far with him, and he gives us his picks for the quarterfinal round and some sleepers, maybe an American sleeper, to win it all. It all starts soon. See you guys in a minute.
And just like that, we're back.
A16, turn me up.
Welcome to episode 239 of the Views from Section 400 podcast. Today is January 27th, 2026.
There you go.
Jack, it was a big day for script conspirators, script believer conspiracy theorists. The NFL posted a picture, a graphic, road to the Super Bowl in August. And the two players at the top, Drake May, Sam Darnold.
Whoa. What is this graphic?
It was a graphic, and it had the Levi Stadium in the forefront, I guess the background.
Yeah.
And then all the players, one representative from each team, walking towards the stadium. Mm-hmm. And in the front were Sam Darnold, Drake May, and also Malik Neighbors. So that's where this theory kind of dies. But two of the three players up front are in the Super Bowl.
I actually am remembering this graphic now. There's it's like the back of all of them, and they're all looking up towards the middle and the center and the back. Wow. Okay. I'm remembering this. I'm going to have to refresh myself on exactly where they're sitting, but yeah, look, you might believe in coincidences. I don't.
I wish we had Matt here with us because he's the biggest script believer of the three. Although you're kind of there, but Matt's definitely
I'm there. I like my tinfoil hat every now and then, but I would be wrong to not start this show and say, shout out Sam Darnold, dude. I am shocked, absolutely shocked that he is going to be playing in a Super Bowl and is the clear favorite to win the Super Bowl. Has been the favorite to win the Super Bowl, I think, since they beat San Francisco in Week 18 and locked up the 1 seed.
Yep.
It's pretty incredible what he has been able to do. I thought last year in Minnesota was a fluke. He had Justin Jefferson. He had Kevin O'Connell. Jordan Addison was great. They were a good offensive team. I thought those wins was a fluke. This year, shocked. I mean, credit to him, credit to McDonald, credit to the defense. Obviously, it's not like he's going out there and putting up Peyton Manning numbers, but he's getting the job done, and I got to give him some flowers.
Yeah, I really wanted to come on here and do a bit, but for the sake of not getting messy and the price of eggs, I'm not going to shove an egg in my face because of how much shit we've talked on Sam Darnold on this show. Although I have said in the past he throws a good ball. Now, I didn't think that good ball would lead him to a Super Bowl. And by the way, this is his second Super Bowl, so I guess I could also take some egg in the face for that. When he started this career revival by taking a backup job with the Niners, he was technically in the Super Bowl.
He didn't play, though.
Yeah, but he made sure to remind a reporter. A reporter asked him about it. How does he feel to be the first guy in his draft class to go to the Super Bowl? And he's like, well, it's my second. Which, I mean, it's kind of like he's not wrong, but it's his first as a starter.
Yeah, first as a starter, but you know what? That will help him, though. Crazy as that is, there probably aren't too many quarterbacks out there who have been to a Super Bowl not as a starter and then end up going, again as a starter. I don't know if he's the first. He's probably not the first, but it hasn't happened in our time that I can remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Well, I mean, I guess the most obvious. Well, no, Brady didn't go to the Super Bowl before.
Just to have that experience, because it's the Super Bowl. There's so much pageantry and extra non-football related things that are going on.
That's the big one. I can't think of the players that have said in the past, but like those 2 weeks that it takes, it's huge.
It's huge. It's huge to have that experience. Not like he hasn't been the starter, hasn't done that before, but he's going to have a leg up on especially just about everybody else, and especially Drake May on the other side, who's only in his second year as a starter.
Who's also kind of limping into these playoffs, and I think we might as well just go right into that game. It was fun in the start, and then snow happened. I could go on a whole rant about building the roof, but I think my case is settled there. Now, you can say there are a lot of fans that say, hey, we like watching snow football. And sure, snow football is fun, but I think every player on that field would have rathered it not snow in that important game. And there's the whole thing about home field advantage, and you deserve the right, but the home team lost. So I don't want to hear anything about that. Build the roof everywhere. Every stadium should have at least a retractable roof. Jarrett Stidham looked great until he didn't, and he joined Sean White as the second former Auburn quarterback to have a snow problem.
Well, you could probably throw a Hugh Freeze joke in there as well, but I don't have time for that. You got to give Jarrett Stidham some credit, though. The way he started that game, phenomenal. And then, he got that big ball to Mims. Shout out Marvin Mims. And then he hit Cortland Sutton in the corner of the end zone. That was a pretty flawless drive from him. But then you saw the weather kick in. I'm not going to blame it all on the weather, but you can blame a lot of it on the weather. It's not like, Drake May, your MVP candidate, on the other side was doing much better either. They put up 10 points, couldn't really do much. It was just a shitty game as far as the offense goes. But, me, I loved seeing the snow. I loved the defense. I loved the gritty 10-7 game. Vrabel game. He loves that. I think Sean Payton loves that too, but his offense just couldn't get anything going.
Yeah, it was weird because the Broncos with Bo Nix all season stalled for the first 3 quarters and then would score at the end. And with Stidham, it was the absolute opposite. And yeah, the snow happened, but just a really weird game. And Vrabel, to his credit, it's amazing that all these teams interviewed him and didn't hire him because he just outcoached Sean Payton. I mean, Sean Payton, if you're the Broncos, you're in Denver, you're in your home stadium, you're telling me you don't have some guy on the sidelines to tell you, hey, it's 4th down and 1, but we have this snowstorm about to hit us. Maybe with our backup quarterback, we should take 3 points.
Yeah, that is one thing I will say is, the decisions that mattered all came early. They all came early because in that second half, even when they wanted to be smart and kick a field goal, you couldn't make a field goal, So you had to be super smart early on, and that's a good point. If you're the Broncos and you're at your home field, that snow's rolling in, you got to just grab what you can when you can. And I'm sure they thought they were going to be able to put up something in the second half, but they weren't.
It just didn't make much sense. And Peyton was kind of in his bag in the first half. They had a couple exotic runs where I was just looking and they would fake pull a guard and then a receiver would motion out of the way and then be a dive when you think it's a power. He had a 3rd and 1 like that, and I was like, that is a great play call. And then 4th and 1, they run a bootleg with Jarrett Stidham.
I didn't like that bootleg. Well, I didn't like that bootleg because they had ran it and gotten the touchdown with Sutton already. And then you run the same thing. The defense is flowing that way, and he tried to go to the short man. I think it was Harvey, but it wasn't going to work out. I did not like that play. But up until that play, I'm with you. He was calling a great game. So, and then, again, the second half was the second half. I feel like it's hard to say that Vrabel really outcoached Sean Payton in those conditions. Last thing I want to say, who the hell let the Patriots wear white jerseys? That was a cheat code.
The Broncos did.
That was a cheat code. I couldn't even see them on the field. I don't know how the players would have been able to.
I don't think Drake May could either. I mean, the Patriots' whole offense in the second half was Drake May running around, which I don't know why the Broncos didn't think to put on a spy. And I know it's hard when you're playing in the snow to spy a quarterback, but it's also hard for receivers to find a spot in the zone when they're slipping all around. So you can afford to waste a guy.
Yeah, again, nothing was getting done in that second half. So I'm with you. If Drake May's the only thing, I mean, if I'm Drake May and I can't see my receivers, I'm probably just going to tuck it and run too.
He did have a great, I think it was a flea flicker, if
It's like I can't. If I'm Drake May, everything is white. Literally everything in front of me is white, except for some orange jerseys. Run away from the orange things, and you're good.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, Patriots franchise for its whole history has been about 75% white, so it couldn't be that much of a difference than what you normally see.
Shout out Randy.
Oh yeah, true. The one guy that didn't get a ring. I'm happy you brought up Marvin Mims, though. Just quick on him. In this playoff run, 12 catches, 155 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, come on. Can we put a little bit of respect on Marvin Mims' name now?
Sure. Sure. He was a fine wide receiver 2, 3 on a pretty decent playoff team.
Yeah, I'm really sad, and I would have come up with so much fun stuff for Marvin Mims for our drinking game. That will be out next week, by the way. I know that's always a big hit in these parts, so it has been started. But the Marvin Mims, I would have had a shotgun play for Marvin Mims. I would have had so much fun with Marvin Mims.
Pause. I will say the last thing I want to say on this AFC experience is the Jaguars were the best team in the AFC at the end of the year. And I am besides myself that we didn't have an opportunity to play in this game. If they wanted to call that PI on Trey White a week earlier, that would have been cool.
I am with you that I think the Jaguars would have beaten. Well, I don't know. Did you see the conditions in Foxborough?
Yeah, I will say I don't know if we would have won that game simply because of the snow, but the Patriots were the only team that we didn't get to play. Like we beat the Broncos, we beat the Steelers weren't a real team. I don't even think we played them this year, but we've beaten them last couple years. Sorry, babe. My girlfriend, she's a Steelers fan. The Chargers, we dismantled, I think like 37-3, 31-0. I don't know. We dismantled them. Texans, we beat 7 out of 8 quarters. It's ridiculous. And who's the last seed? No, it was the Chargers. Oh, the Bills. Fuck the Bills, man.
Yeah, I wish I would have seen Josh Allen in this game instead of obviously after the Bo Nix injury, it would have been more fun to see Josh Allen running around in snowy Foxborough.
Oh, for sure.
But I mean, this was a fine game. It hurts that the Patriots, and kind of like Seattle, but just more quickly, you thought they were dead for a while, and then they come back. They get given this gifted schedule because they were so bad last year, and they get a coach that's good enough to just be better than bad teams. And now you get to play a bad AFC. And I know we still have so many Patriots fans in our comments talking about the defenses, but there's got to be a part of every single one of them that's like, we got to play CJ Stroud, Justin Herbert, and Jared Stidham.
And I mean, Justin Herbert is a good quarterback. He's not a good
playoffs.
Not a good playoff quarterback. And on top of that, they were a much different team later, at least offense, later on in the season after not having any of their starting tackles and everyone kept on getting hurt. So yeah, they were a joke of a team. I mean, they limped in as the 7 seed. They were not good. Very simply put, they were not good. I think the Jaguars beat them like 37-3 or something like that. We absolutely dismantled them.
It's so annoying.
And then you go and look back at the regular season schedule, which is like a historically easy.
The last place schedule.
Yeah. So yes, this has been the easiest run to a Super Bowl ever, and they took care of business. They beat who was in front of them.
They deserve credit. They have a great defense.
They deserve credit, but they don't deserve this Super Bowl.
No, it's definitely, when you look back at it, in at least recent memory, one of the least talented rosters to make a Super Bowl run. And that's just why Vrabel deserves this much more credit. And it's just the city of Boston, dude. They just
I can
keep
agree
getting
with
away
that.
with this.
I can agree with that.
Keep getting like the Patriots were great in the early 2000s. Then they kind of take a step back. They stop winning Super Bowls. And then it's like, okay, now the Red Sox are going to start winning World Series. The Bruins got one. And then the Patriots start to suck. Boston goes ahead and wins an NBA Finals for the first time in like 15 years. Jason Tatum tears his ACL. The Red Sox GM's a moron. And now it's like, oh, the Patriots are back with their second-year quarterback and their head coach that everyone let. It's so annoying. And it really just comes down to the Giants have not been able to get back and the Mets have not been able to get back, and Boston just reloads, doesn't have to rebuild. They're just like, oh, yeah, we're back here.
Well, yeah, New York sports have been awful. Awful.
And there's a blueprint that it's not that hard because Boston keeps doing it.
Shout out Jay-Z and the blueprint.
Yeah, he's probably pretty mad about the state of New York sports right now, too.
Yeah, his Nets are not doing too well, I don't think.
No. Yeah, the only other big thing I had coming out of this game was all-time quote by Leonard Taylor III after he blocked that field goal, the Will Lutz field goal that might have gone in if had it not been blocked, which is incredible in itself. He said, I just put up my hand and got a handful of ball. No diddy. Now, the only thing that would have made that better is if he ended it with, now we're going to the Super Bowl, no stiddy. That would have been an all-timer.
Damn, that's a bar, Brian. You got that yourself?
Yeah, I did.
Damn. You should start a rap career with that.
His brain's good about 5% of the time, and I'm happy that I got it there. I mean, I think the question's pretty obvious, but if Bo Nix is on the field, Denver probably wins that game, right?
I don't know if that's obvious.
I always forget I'm talking to the biggest Bo Nix hater in the world, but that's
not really a fair question to ask. I mean, given the snow conditions, I don't know how Bo Nix is playing in those conditions.
I think what Drake May did in that second half, running around and just playing backyard football, Bo Nix can do that as well and get.
Yeah, he definitely could have done that, but who's to say he would have? And if he does, and he's able to put up an extra touchdown, more than the 7 points that the Broncos opened with on their opening drive, then who's to say that Vrabel and Drake May, they're not able to get a little bit more aggressive and try a little bit more? Because you saw that for a lot of the second half. Is just Ramondre Stevenson had 28 carries. You saw that a lot in the second half.
Criminal, by the way.
We're just going to hand the ball off. We're not going to take shots. We're not going to do anything stupid. We're just going to run the ball, run the clock, punt it away, live to see another day, send our defense back out there because we trust our defense in these conditions. And it worked. But if Bo Nix is in there, who's to say they don't score a touchdown, Patriots get a little bit more aggressive? It's a whole other ball game. I don't know if I'm buying into Bo Nix would have been able to do that.
I think that's fair, but I also want to go back to that Ramondre Stevenson stat because, listen, TreVeyon Henderson's not LaShawn McCoy. He might become a close to LaShawn McCoy type player in his career, and I know Vrabel doesn't like playing rookies, but when you have a guy like that in the snowy game that could just run by everybody and keep his footing, you put him in. I don't understand why Vrabel doesn't like him that much. And it's not like he needs to pass protect. That's his big knock. They ran the ball every play.
I thought they both had fumbling issues too.
Yeah, they both do. So I guess you trust the guy that's been in the league for a while?
Yeah, you trust the vet a little bit more in that situation for sure.
See, I see that angle, but I also just all they needed was one long TreVeyon Henderson run, and this game would have been over. And I guess it was already pretty much over, but
yeah. I mean, I see that. But what did they give him? 5 carries on the game?
I don't think either. He probably had 3.
3? Yeah, I mean, it was abysmal compared to Ramondre. I understand what you're saying. I don't disagree with it. But look, I'm not going to argue with what Vrabel did. He's gotten this Patriots team who had 4 wins last year to 16 now or something like that into the Super Bowl. So yeah, I can't argue with Vrabel, and if you trust Ramondre, I trust Ramondre. Got it done.
Patriots ran the ball 38 times for 141 yards. TreVeyon Henderson had 3 carries.
Ramondre had 28.
25. Drake May had
25.
10.
Yep. There you go.
Oh, also, quick shout out to Stephon Diggs. Finally gets to the Super Bowl. After the years of just the surrender cobra, watching the other team get the confetti.
Now he gets to do it in the Super Bowl.
Quite possibly. You're not wrong.
Quite probable. All right, let's move on from this game. I want to talk some NFC.
All right. Yeah, this was definitely the better game of the two. Sam Darnold changing the narrative. I think the narrative has been changed now. In this postseason, 470 yards, 4 touchdowns. Played just as well as Matthew Stafford did, and that's all he had to do for Seattle to win this game. He is the first USC quarterback of the 26 selected in the NFL draft to start a Super Bowl.
Wow.
The
Really?
list isn't that great. It's headlined by Carson Palmer. But then you have Mark Sanchez that got there a couple times. Matt Leinart, who I believe won a Heisman, or he came in second to Reggie Bush. Matt Castle, who was in the league forever, had a chance with the Patriots. So Sam Darnold's the first one.
I mean, I know Mark Sanchez only made it as far as the AFC Championship. Matt Leinart never made it to a Super Bowl?
He didn't have a very long career. He was I want to say he was good for like 2 years, and then he just fell off a cliff. And then Carson Palmer was just always a early.
Yeah, he was an early playoff exit, like Phillip Rivers.
He was he part of that Marvin Lewis run where they just, I mean, basically what Mike Tomlin's done with the Steelers?
Yes. He was the quarterback there for a long time, and then it was Andy Dalton.
Pretty much the same exact guy.
I know.
Carson Palmer was. I'll give him a little more credit.
Carson Palmer was definitely a little bit better than Dalton. No doubt about that. He had a career in Cincinnati and in Arizona. I thought they almost made a Super Bowl. He lost an AFC Championship, Carson Palmer did, with Arizona.
Yeah. He was he not the quarterback for that Super Bowl they lost to the Steelers? Oh, was that Kurt Warner there?
Yeah, that was Kurt Warner. I think.
Okay, yeah, so it must have not been.
Wait. No, didn't Kurt Warner get his in like...
Well, they lost that game. That was the
didn't-
Santonio Holmes catch.
I thought Arizona got one. They never got one?
No, I don't think so.
Then yeah, no. I mean that was one of my favorite Super Bowls I've ever seen. The good old Steelers, Cardinals, James Harrison.
Yeah, okay. So in 2015, Palmer won a playoff game with the Cardinals and then lost. And then he was one and done with the Bengals twice.
Huh. Who did he lose to in that 2015? Because he had I want to say J.J. Watt was on that team too. Like they were a good team.
Yeah, let's see. Schedule 2015. They lost to Aaron Rodgers. In a crazy... Oh, no, they beat Aaron Rodgers. They lost to Cam.
Oh.
They got worked by Cam.
Well, Cam was working everybody that year.
Yeah, Cam Newton in that game. 400 total yards, 4 touchdowns. And then it was Carson Palmer. David Johnson was there. And then it was Larry Fitz and Michael Floyd. So that team wasn't that great, but their defense was good.
They were a pretty good team.
They were solid. But either way, Sam Darnold, the first USC quarterback to start a Super Bowl, assuming his oblique doesn't suddenly give out and we see Drew Lock.
I bet Caleb will get there.
Maybe. That Bears stink is just stinky, though.
That is fair. Yeah, he balled out. I already gave Sam Darnold his flowers earlier on the show, but that defense is incredible. That taunting call,
dude,
that Tariq Woolen got almost got him cut. Like almost got him sent out of Seattle. And I know he's a phenomenal player, but that's something that if they end up losing that game, if the Rams end up scoring on that drive and don't fail on 4th down, there would have been some issues for him.
Yeah, he would become, I'm blanking on the name, but the Cubs fan that reached over for the foul ball and caught the ball, and then they lost the game. It's that bad, and not only to get the taunting, but then to get burnt.
Yeah, give up the 40-yard touchdown on the next play. That was a bad look for him.
That really felt like, too, the Rams are going to take that momentum and win. But Sam Darnold and Kenneth Walker, by the way, I wanted to spotlight him because he has been fantastic in this playoffs. 250 total yards, 4 touchdowns. So it reminds me of like the playoff Darrell Williams, Damian Williams, the Chiefs, like that kind of run. But the difference is he's 25 and a free agent, and he's about to get paid to probably go play for a contender next year, if not the Seahawks. And
yeah, I mean, he's like a Breece Hall for me, dude. Like he's just always been underutilized and just an extremely explosive running back. Like there aren't too many freak explosive athletes at running back. Obviously, there's your Bijans and your Jahmyr Gibbs, but these guys have like a different kind of explosive than a lot of guys, and I'm very happy to see him finally get unleashed. I know it's at the detriment of another player, so sorry, Mr. Charbonnet, but I'm loving seeing Kenny Walker just the third absolutely go crazy.
Former teammate of Peyton Thorne, by the way. But I think he has had injury issues in the past.
That's been the big knock for sure.
What Mike McDonald kind of did with him this year might be just the recipe for his success. Maybe you have to take him out at the goal line so he doesn't take the hits from the nose tackles and the big guys up front, and he's always just running the outside, getting tackled by linebackers and safeties. And he could play a whole year and then do this in the postseason.
Look, best ability is availability. So that's a great job by the coaching staff. You see this approach sometimes by, whether that's receivers, sometimes it's running backs, could be a whole bunch of guys. But that's great coaching, keeping guys fresh, keeping them healthy. Any way you can do it, it's good coaching.
Mike and Mike Super Bowl, 2 great head coaches named Mike. I mean, I tweeted out after these games ended that after a great NFL playoffs, I fear we're going to get a dud of a Super Bowl. And I still think that could very well happen.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a part of me that just could see this thing going back and forth. And maybe it might turn into a field goal fest. We might see like a 19-17 Super Bowl. But I want to keep the faith because
if that's the case, I'm taking the Seahawks.
Yeah, and we'll preview this thing as we have 3 shows before the Super Bowl happens, and we're going to do our bets and fun bets and whole preview, but just super early line, it's 3.5 Seattle.
I thought I saw 4.5.
May already be 4.5. I think it opened at 3.5, or maybe it opened at 4 and it's down to 3.5.
Maybe it wasn't 4.5. Maybe I saw it open at 4.
It just feels like the Seahawks led the NFL in point differential all season long. I think they were plus 91. The second best was around plus 100. And I know this Rams game was close, but they absolutely killed the 49ers.
I think the Rams were second.
It's probably the 2 best teams in football. And then you look at the Patriots, and yes, we've knocked on their schedule, and I don't want to keep knocking on it, but it's kind of that team that's just done enough to win against teams that are worse than them. And they are a great team. They're a good team because you don't get the 16 wins without being a good team, but it feels like a juggernaut is taken on. It's a hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby in my head right now.
Yeah, I look, I'm so sick of the fucking talking about their schedule. I'm so sick of talking about their schedule. It's the easiest road they've ever had. Whatever, move on.
Yeah, I think we have given love to Seattle, but this feels like where the Patriots talk about one of the worst teams. Seattle feels like one of the more dominant teams we've seen, and I think we just don't want to give them that credit because it is Sam Darnold and it is the Seahawks, and it's not the Chiefs, it's not the Eagles, not even like the Bills are here. It's the Seattle Seahawks with Sam Darnold. But I mean, they've done a pretty great job.
No, there's no doubt there's no denying it anymore. Like unless the Patriots are able to come out with some, you got 2 weeks to prepare for this game. A lot can happen between now and then. Patriots could come out with some crazy blitz packages, getting Darnold rattled, and they absolutely dominate this game. Like that is the beauty of NFL football. You never know what's going to happen on any given game.
Got to get through my guy Gray Zabel though, who I wish was a New York Giant.
No, I hear you. He was a top prospect in the draft this year. He looks great. He's done great, and is a big reason why they've been so successful. I mean, their offensive line is amazing. So I'm with you. I'm giving them their flowers. I'm taking the Seahawks. They're probably going to take them by a touchdown, but it'll be a good game.
It almost feels like, and it's kind of crazy irony here, and I'm not putting Sam Darnold and Tom Brady in the same sentence here lightly, but it does feel a little bit like the first Giants-Patriots Super Bowl, where the Patriots were so dominant and they went undefeated. The Seahawks didn't go undefeated, but the Giants were overlooked, and you just thought, like, if they can get to Tom Brady, they have a chance. That feels like the Patriots' only path, and they can. Their defense has been great. They made C.J. Stroud turn into a pumpkin, and he may just be a pumpkin. We don't know. But they got confidence from the Chargers not having an offensive line, and they've turned that confidence into a really good pass rush, and maybe that's how you beat Sam Darnold.
Maybe. You got to go up against a really good offensive line, as we said, but you never know. I mean, the Patriots always got some magic, it seems like.
Unfortunately, they do.
Unfortunately. But let's talk about the Rams.
Yeah,
did you see McVay get asked about Stafford in the presser?
I didn't, but I was going to bring him. Does he retire?
Don't ask Sean McVay. Sean McVay was asked that question in the presser. So what do we think about Matt Stafford? Like, is he going to return next season? And he goes, he's pretty freaking good. You're going to have to ask him, but yeah, he's pretty freaking good. And I can't believe he's like, can't believe you asked me that question. Guy's an MVP. Like, of course I want him back. Of course he's going to be here. But, at the end of the day, you got to ask him. Like, that's not for me. And, and then he like quickly was like, all right, everyone, thank you very much. It's been a great season. I'll talk to you soon. And just walked off on the plug.
Yeah, I think that's also a lot of just deathly afraid of having to start Jimmy Garoppolo as your starting quarterback next year.
They wouldn't. They would find another option. I think, look, it's fresh. It's just happened. They just lost. There's no way that they're demanding Stafford give us a decision today or tomorrow. It's not how it works. But I think Sean McVay, I forget who the name of their GM is, and Matt Stafford, his agent, they'll come together. They'll talk about it sooner rather than later. I think that you're either going to know, look, I got another one in me, or I don't, very early on. And Stafford won't leave them out and retire a week before the season starts. And if there's potential for that, I feel like he'd be honest with McVay and be like, yeah, let's get a guy.
Yeah, it's easy to forget because obviously it's a long season and Stafford is probably going to be the MVP, but there were real rumors of him just not being able to play this year. His back was all kinds of messed up in training camp.
I'm convinced that Vegas threw those reports out there just so people wouldn't bet on the Rams, who ended up being probably the second best team in the league this year. I mean, I think you really got to give it to the Seahawks after winning that game. The Rams, even though they were the best offense, I would say, the Seahawks were the best team this year, and the Rams were number 2. So, yeah, I think that Vegas threw those reports out there simply so people wouldn't be betting on the Rams.
I mean, I don't know if I could get there with you, but I see the angle. It makes sense.
Either that or fantasy writers who really wanted to draft Stafford and Puka and Devontae and all them and just needed to throw people off the scent.
There's also just the chance Stafford didn't really want to practice in training camp.
All right, tinfoil hats off.
I think he'll be back. He seems like a guy that wants to go out on a high note, and maybe that high note is it doesn't necessarily mean a Super Bowl win, but it
He
feels
wants it.
it wasn't his fault they lost this game. They made a lot of again, the special teams was terrible. It's how they lost the first game.
Yeah.
Or not the second game between these teams, and it's how they lost the third. But he had a chance, 3rd and goal, and they couldn't get it done on 3rd and 4th down. And then Seahawks just kind of ran the clock out. So I'm sure he still has that kind of bad taste in his mouth where he's going to want to come back.
Yeah, he couldn't get that football back in his hand after not. Well, I guess they did that, but they had like 10 seconds. It basically wasn't anything. But that 4th down that he wasn't able to complete right over the middle, I know that's hurting him today. I mean, that whole drive that whole 4-play sequence has to hurt.
Yeah, but they had a 2nd and 4, and then they ran it for nothing, and then 2 incomplete passes. They also ran the ball really well. I don't know what Blake Corn's line was, but they seemed like it got away from that, and the game just kind of turned into a crazy offensive mess at the end. But it felt like they could have just ran it up their throats. And I know you want Stafford to have the ball, but he was also throwing up like Ferguson at the end there.
Yeah, I will say Kyron, Blake Corum definitely had some good runs too, but I was noticing Kyron, he was running really well. Really, really well to start that game. Way better than I've seen a lot of other teams run on the Seattle defense. And honestly, that's kind of how I would want to attack them. I know they got a good D line, but at the same time, those corners and safeties, like those are the guys I'm scared of. And I think they proved it.
Yeah, it's kind of skewed by Matt Stafford running the ball twice for 16 yards, but they averaged 5.2 yards per carry. Corum had 955. Kyron had 10 for 39. They ran it 22 times at a 5.2 yards per carry clip. And yeah, Stafford, I mean, he was incredible. 365 and 3 TDs, but I don't know. Down on the goal line there, especially when Devontae Adams was not getting open in the end zone like he normally does. It felt like, and I know he had a touchdown, but I'm talking like 1st and goal from the 5. The Seahawks took him away. I don't know, run the ball a couple times.
Yeah, I would have liked to see that too, but there's also clock and game management and all the other 5 million reasons why.
That's the other thing I wanted to talk about. I'm sorry to cut you off, but this is the second time in, I guess the Eagles was 2 weekends ago. So second time this playoffs where I've seen a coach where in the old days, it's like you're down 5, go for 2 to try to get it to 3, and they just kick the extra point. No deliberation, no nothing. It's just, go send out the kicker. McVay did that twice in this game. I don't understand it. And the new age analytic people will tell you online that they're playing for, go down 4, so then you score again, you kick the extra point, and you're up 3. Why are we thinking about if we score again? The Rams didn't. They ran out of time to try to score. Go for 2. You're either down 5, and then you score a touchdown. You don't need to get the extra point because you win, or you're down 3, and you're down a field goal. I don't understand that way of thinking, but apparently it's taken over. Because Shanahan did the same thing. So whatever that McVay coaching tree is, somebody's in their ear telling them not to go for 2.
I don't like that either. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you stay down a touchdown when you have a chance to go and stay only down a field goal and only be down a field goal? Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. I'd rather be down, regardless of what happens on that play, the other team's still going to get the ball. I'm still going to need to get it back. And then it's either, do I need a touchdown or do I need a field goal? Like, I would love to have the field goal option.
Yeah, it feels like, in the best, most sound logic I've heard is you're playing so you can't lose if you score and go up by 3. And you can't lose on a game-ending field goal. But it feels like you're playing soft and not to lose if you don't go for 2. So maybe we're just old men and we don't understand the analytics here, but it feels like this keeps happening and it's really annoying me.
No, I don't get that at all. I mean, it's stupid.
Very stupid. A lot about football is becoming stupid. I could go on a whole rant about how everyone calls a double team block a duo run now. It just
I'm not going to die on that hill.
I'm not gonna rant about it because it'll be nonsense and I'll be here all night. But That's
It seems pretty synonymous. It's not like they're calling it something it's not.
well, it's either just a straight double and a dive, or it's a counter run, or it's a power run. There's other things. It's not just a duo. When you call it a duo run,
Oh, they're like instead of a power or a draw, they're calling it a duo run.
if there's a double team, I believe the way they
Double
call
teams
it.
all the time on blocks.
Yeah, I think a duo run, and I haven't done enough research because just the name pisses me off too much. But I believe they call it
You're
duo.
just talking out your ass right now, Brian.
I think they call it duo if the tackle and the tight end double and the tackle and the guard double, and then the center goes second level against like a 3-4.
I feel like that happens. That's been happening forever.
Yeah, it has.
We gotta
it's
get a
normally
new
a
name
dive.
for it now. All right, whatever.
Or if you double on the tight end side and you pull your backside guard, it's a power. But I think they're calling that duo now, so I don't understand it at all.
Whatever. I mean, we're making up new names for runs. We've got pro players playing college ball. What is sports now?
We don't have to. Well, we could talk about that because we got a little bit of time before we're joined by our guy Steve, who just launched a new podcast, by the way, the Draft Shot Podcast. Great show. He had a debut show last week. We're going to talk to him about the Australian Open that's already underway, but it was a full preview of that. I feel like I got a little smarter. So I appreciate Steve for starting that because he's been our insider for a while.
Yeah, shout out Steve. He always knows the tennis picks.
Yeah, but fuck Nate Oates.
Yeah, he's not cool. Yeah, he's like, oh, got to give the guy the opportunity. No, you don't, dude. You're the worst. You're I don't really want to get into it, but I did just see that he's going to get some more time. He's playing another game because that judge who overruled it and let him start playing, he postponed the next hearing. So that makes sense.
He's got a bunch of money going to the Alabama sports program. They got to buy more hard hats for the student section.
I hate those hard hats.
They're so annoying. I forget what team I saw, but there's another student section with hard hats. And if that ever comes to the jungle in Auburn, I need to write a strongly worded letter to get rid of them.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that more on the next show. We got a lot of other sports to talk about, but right now we are welcoming on our guy Steve for some Australian Open talk.
Woo.
All righty, we bring on our tennis insider here in the nosebleeds, good old Steve. I know it's kind of hard. We didn't get him on last year for the Australian Open because it's directly in the middle of football playoffs. But, I mean, we had to get him on this time because you have big news, Steve. A new podcast just dropped.
Yes, sir. So I did just drop a new podcast. It is called The Drop Shot. It is available on both Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It's only going to be like pretty short episodes, about probably 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes per episode. Going to be just going over the Masters 1000s, Grand Slams, and other important tennis news. So hope y'all can drop in, just listen whenever you can, and just support us along the way. I appreciate y'all.
Drop into the drop shot. I mean, I listened to your first episode and I already feel smarter about tennis. So, if you're a fan and you just want to get smarter, maybe make some good picks, definitely check it out.
Yeah, I can't say that tennis is my thing, Steve, and you know that. But
I mean,
I love
text
a good
you
bet
almost every day about it.
I know, but I love a good bet. So if you've got one for me, I will tune in and make sure my book's looking good.
I mean, going up in this quarterfinals right now, I love the kid Lerner Tien. I was hot on him last year. I'm super high on him this year. He's in his quarterfinals in the Australian Open, his first one. It's his second Australian Open, but his first quarterfinals there. He's playing Alexander Zverev. He just knocked down Daniil Medvedev in straight sets and giving Daniil Medvedev his first bagel ever in his career at a Grand Slam. This kid is hot. He's 20 years old. He's being taught by Michael Zhang, former French Open champion. I don't see why Lerner wouldn't have the skills to take down Alexander Zverev, but their games are very similar. They're both pushers. They just like to extend points, but I don't know. I was watching Lerner play against Medvedev, and he was smacking that ball whenever he could. We might have a new top American here pretty soon, boys.
I love to hear that. And, even if they're an underdog, as long as they're not running into Yannick Sinner or Carlos Alcaraz, I have some faith in them. And speaking of Alcaraz, I don't want to spoil your podcast that you dropped to preview this Open, but you went against your guy in this tournament.
I mean, I just saw too much news on his team, his inside. You know me, I'm on the dead space of Twitter and Reddit for all of tennis media and news. I just saw that so much news that it was his family that wanted him to split with his coach, not himself that wanted to split with his coach, because they were kind of upset that what was it? They were taking Carlos away from being closer with his family. They felt that he was getting too close to Carlos Ferreira, and basically saw him as a father figure to his dad. And I was just like, that's just not it, guys. And basically they fired him, and it just hasn't been a good separation from the camps. But Carlos is playing good. Hasn't dropped a single set yet.
Is this a Jordan Hudson situation in tennis?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I watched that Tommy Paul versus Carlos Alcaraz match, and I was very sad. But Alcaraz, he looks fine. I don't know if he's good enough to unseat Yannick, but
I mean, the one thing that Carlos really needed to fix was that serve. And I don't know if y'all have seen it, but someone might need to give some royalties to Djokovic for that serve. Because if you put a little frame by frame of them doing their serves together, it is the exact same serve. And it is crazy to me. And it was funny. Djokovic, I think, even tweeted out or commented or something, said, "Hey, Alcaraz, I'm gonna need some royalties for some of that, some of that service action for your career down the road here."
Yeah, I think Alcaraz probably looks a little better than Sinner does, but I do think both, as dominant as they've been, took a little bit of a stutter step. Nothing crazy. Alcaraz tricky first set the other night. Sinner lost the set. Probably would have lost the match if they didn't close the roof. I'm surprised Brian wasn't hooting and hollering about that. But, 99 degrees.
I was against American too.
I was so upset.
One time I rooted for no roof.
Elliot Spizzeri, Texas cooking, baby. He was one of my dark horses for this whole tournament, and it was in my 45 minutes of audio that I lost.
Oh.
And I was so sad because I just kept hammering him every single round. I'm just like, if I can't talk about him, at least I'll bet on him. And he has made me so much money this week. I love that, man. His first set odds against Yannick were plus 1,200, and I slammed that for like $15. And I was so happy.
That's better than your first touchdown.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, Steve is also the wizard of first touchdowns for those that know him just for tennis. He's a very good first touchdown bet.
I don't know how I do it, but the tennis gods help me in football too.
You got to cook something up for the Super Bowl and let us know.
Do a little guest pick action in there.
So is that Carlos Alcaraz just copying Djokovic, or is it kind of like a baseball thing where a pitcher will be on the same team and kind of learn from another pitcher's pitch?
I mean, a player that had very big service struggles early in his career was Novak Djokovic. He couldn't buy a first or second serve. He would literally have breathing problems because he gets so nervous out there. And I think the last year and a half really put a lot of pressure on Carlos. I think the Olympics put a lot of pressure on him. He was literally bawling his eyes out there at 21 years old, not being able to win a title for his or a medal for his country. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, you're 21 years old, dog. I was like, you've got plenty of time. I'm like, but there's just so much pressure for the kid. And there was a lot of pressure put on Novak as well. And I don't know if it's a copy and paste type of thing. But it really worked for Novak, and it's really working for Carlos right now. His second serve percentages are way higher. His double faults percentages are way lower. It's been working great for Carlos, but we'll see if he sticks with that or goes back to something. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I didn't see a whole lot on the teaching him serve thing. I don't know. I mean, Novak, this is, I think, one of his last shots to win a major. Why are you helping Goliath out any more than he needs to be helped? Especially when you got, that's my takeaway from this whole thing. Why are you trying? I mean, I get it, the sportsmanship aspect of the game, but this guy's one major away from holding a record that'll be extremely difficult to break.
I'm honestly rooting for it. This is a Australian Open. I'm really not mad who wins that left in the quarters. I mean, we either get 1, 2, 3, 4. We either get 5 new Grand Slam winners, or we get the same 2, or we get the 25th and see, literally, like you said, Matt, a record that will probably not be broken in a really, really long time.
Yeah. No, I'm rooting for Novak. The rest, for the unlimited, and I always love seeing new winners as well. So I do like the 5 new ones that are out on the table right now that could happen. But I mean, Novak's just a guy I grew up watching, and for how limited amount of time he has left, like literally this could be his last shot because U.S. Open is all the way in September. So I mean, it's now or never, obviously, and I mean, Novak, he gets to the semis every major we've been seeing, and he can't close the door because of the big 2. And to what I was saying earlier, I thought we saw a little bit of a hiccup from 1 and 2 that might just so smallly crack the door for maybe Novak gets it done, gets it over the line, and then Alcaraz and Sinner can have all the glory for the next 15.
I wouldn't mind that, man. I mean, this is his Open. This is a slam that he's won 10 times. Like, how can you not root for Novak here? As much as me growing up, I was a Nadal fan, hating on Federer and Djokovic. I'm just here to just enjoy greatness now. Like, I'm watching this man on his last few gears grind it out and still be able to win. He's in the quarterfinals at what? 38 years old. 38 years old.
Are we 38 already?
He is 38 years old.
It's those 3 years he lost.
Yeah, the 3 years he lost for COVID. I think we talked about it on the last show. But Steve, I'm interested to get your thoughts on a couple topics here. But one that it's kind of been the talk of the week. This chick, Iva Jovic, who's playing Sabalenka tonight. American. I know the name doesn't sound American, but 18 years old, comes up against the number 1 powerhouse in Sabalenka. She hasn't been faced, man. She's been knocking people out straight sets all tournament. Probably her first real test. I don't know who she might have battled earlier on in the first couple rounds, but definitely one where maybe we see her. This is like Sabalenka. Welcome to the show, kid.
Let's put some respect on her name. It's Iva Jovic. And
what did I say?
I don't know who Iva is, but
oh, Iva, my bad, dude.
Iva Jovic, wow, just incredible, man. She's 18 years old, was a blue chip recruit that foregoed college and just decided to go on the tour. I've seen a lot of recent videos on her, and her footwork is incredible. She hits the ball hard. She always gets her feet back to the middle of the court. If you watch her, her footwork is incredible. She knows how to shuffle right after she hits the ball. She just has that instinct to know where that ball is going. I feel like she's there for every single ball. Like I said, she's only 18 years old, and I think this is her first quarterfinals ever in a Grand Slam. Yeah. And tough, she's got to go against the Queen because the Queen is on a roll right now. She's super hot. She just won a title too in Brisbane. She hasn't lost a set yet. Took out my dark horse on the women's side, who I thought if she could take out Sabalenka could win it all, but she took care of Mboko in like an hour and a half. And I was like, oh, okay, so she's not playing around. The woman she lost to last year literally got knocked out last night by Jessica Pegula. Fun fact, first podcast host to ever play a match against each other, but no reason to get into that.
I was rooting for the Madison Keys back to back. Very sad.
Jessica Pegula is on fire as well. She looks very good.
She looks good, but Pagula, I just never, to me, struck had the final blow for these majors. Has she? She might have been to a final, but has she even won one? I feel like she lacks that. Like, I don't know who's a good comp of somebody who always gets there and never wins, even to the highest of the high. Like,
I mean,
losing in the finals and not winning.
I could be wrong, but I think she's a U.S. Open champion.
I thought she just played in the final, but either way.
Oh no, she was just the finalist at the U.S. Open. Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, I don't think she's won a major.
No, she is
just,
not one of the major.
Billionaire father owns the Bills, had everything handed to her growing up, and
is she the Bills?
She's got the Bills stink.
Yeah, there might be something there.
Oh, but
tough week.
At least that she's a nepo baby, but she does do a lot for the tour and her fellow Americans. So I know a lot of times she'll even like take other nationalities, just a bunch of girls that don't have that much income, and will literally fly them to the next tournament in her private jet. So literally saves a lot of girls from having to spend that extra $5,000 to just go to another country to play a tournament where they might win 3.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she's a great lady, but fraud on the tennis court.
No holds barred.
We also have Amanda. The Amanda show is still kicking in the quarterfinals on the women's side. Any faith there?
That was the second thing I was going to ask you, so I'm glad Brian brought it up.
I think, first of all, she's an amazing player. I'm glad she's gotten over her mental health struggles and is back on the tour and is a top 10 player. And I like her outfit, man. Like, I don't know if y'all seen her on court, but to me, she looked like Shigo. For those that watched Danny Phantom growing up, that outfit is crazy. And she's been hitting the ball super well. I'm ready for this American versus American matchup, Pegula versus Anisimova. I think she's got a real – everyone left, I feel like, just has a great chance on both sides, on men's and women's. Just has a great chance to win it all. Like, I don't see any weak names that I see left in this draw, like, that can be just straggling in.
Yes, so out of those 5, and you may have already hinted at it, on the men's side that obviously are not Sinner, Djokovic, and Alcaraz, who do you think has the best shot there to kind of break through?
I like my boy from the University of Florida. I love Ben Shelton, man.
It's the only guy I like from the University of Florida. Oh no, Pete Alonso too.
That man Ben Shelton, man, he's insane. His first serve's averaging around like 130 to 140. That's absolutely insane how fast he's serving that ball right now. His ground strokes look insane. His fitness looks insane. The main thing I was worried about him last year was, I think it was that U.S. Open. He ended up hurting his shoulder. And I didn't think he was ready to come back, but little to what I know, in like 2-3 weeks, he was back and playing on the tour again, competing, losing a lot too, earlier than I expected him to. And I thought it was a lot of because he just didn't believe in that shoulder 110%. He got to the Nidos Masters 8 and still just didn't perform too well there. But he comes out this year, that serve is firing. He looks great. I told Brian earlier off podcast, I think last week, 2026 is 100% the year I believe an American can win a slam.
Yeah, I'll be rooting for it.
All right.
Be rooting for one of them to get the break there.
USA.
To maybe a little win Wimbledon on English soil. That's right around 4th of July, America's 250th birthday. Be a pretty good time for an American to win a major, if you ask me.
That would be pretty cool.
But no, I know I said fraud watch on the women's side, certified fraud watch on the men's side. Taylor Fritz, not even a fraud watch. He is a fraud. Completely lacks the final punch in all major tournaments. Steve, I don't know if you're a Fritz guy. or not. But Musetti knocked him off the other night. He sits there at plus 5,000, tied for the longest odds to win out of the remaining 8. His chances going forward. And if you want to touch on Taylor Fritz's departure pretty early, if you ask me.
I mean, I would say I expected it just because I did bet on Musetti the other night.
Nice.
Fritz looks very great against, players not in the top 25, but
yeah,
anyone he plays in the top 25. I mean, he even kind of struggled against Stan Wawrinka. I mean, part of that might have been the crowd because there was only one person in the crowd, and it was Morgan Riddle that was not rooting for Stan Wawrinka to win that match. But not to discredit Musetti, he looks amazing now. Like, he also dealt with injury last year. It was towards the end of Wimbledon, I believe. And these 6 to 8 to 10 weeks that these tennis professionals get is the only offseason they get, because like I hinted on my podcast last week, Andy Roddick used to be able to take 4 to 6 weeks off and train his body for the next surface and be good for the next 2-3 months. You can't do that in tennis anymore. And you do that in tennis, you go from being in the top 10 and cool, now you're number 20 in the world. Like,
Do they
the
have
tennis
Do they have load management rules or something?
Not at all. They just keep adding more tennis
joking.
tournaments to the schedule. And the worst part is they're making these Masters 1000s 10 days instead of 7 days. So these players are at these tournaments and hitting more days and having less off days throughout the season. And you're able to see guys like Carlos and Sinner take, ATP 250 week off because they're 2,000 points ahead of number 3. And it's
right.
The tennis schedule is very brutal.
Well, Joel Embiid would never survive the grind of a tennis schedule.
Never.
No, he wouldn't survive.
All on his own, all on his back. Yeah, right. No, but I mean, there's got to be a little bit of leeway or like give for that though, because you got to think these guys are playing in the finals, which are extra sets, extra matches compared to everybody else, pretty much every tournament. So yeah, you can give them the 250s off, or whatever the equivalent makes sense. But yeah, if they're playing in a finals, playing all the way through the tournament every time, kind of makes sense. Are you giving them a call right now?
I mean, I think it's brutal for the players. You get injured in the middle of the year, you can't come back. I mean, this is the first time I've ever seen an Achilles tear on a professional tour with Holger Rune last year. I think the schedule's too brutal. They need to be able to give players some sort of recovery time. Like in the Australian Open, some of these players in the earlier rounds are playing at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock Australia time and getting done sometime around midnight, 1. And then they have to be up probably in about 8 hours to recover and then get ready for the next match, which is in a day.
Maybe they should have load management rules.
I agree. I mean, they're trying their best with the heat in Australia, except they tried a little too hard with Sinner. It's only supposed to be enacted in the 5th set, and they enabled it in the 3rd and 4th set, which made no sense. Then they closed the roof.
I mean, how much money is like the Flint, Michigan 250 really bringing in into tennis, where they have to play these random tournaments every month?
It's for points.
Yeah, I understand that, but
it's more for points than I think. And again, maybe some of the bottom tier players, winning a quick 120 grand or whatever some of these payouts are, that helps them throughout the season. But I mean, points are big on the tour. You take them where you can get them, even if it isn't Flint, Michigan.
Some of them are local, but a lot of the around 75 to like rank 125, they're fighting for that top 100, because if you're able to qualify top 100 in the certain before the deadline of the next Grand Slam, you're an automatic qualifier into the Grand Slam. So those guys are fighting because you get into the first round of the Grand Slam and automatically qualify, lose first round, you just went home with $40,000-$50,000.
Right.
Wow.
It's just auto. Whereas if you have to play the qualifiers, you don't get anything because there's usually a few rounds of qualifiers that lead up to the first round of these majors.
Exactly. And a lot of those qualifiers are paying to be there too. They're not,
Right.
They don't have sponsors for hotels and food and stuff like that. They're probably staying at the equivalent to a Holiday Inn or something like that in Europe. And just, it's probably not the best experience for them. And they're honestly more stressed than anything, just trying to make ends meet and not really think about winning.
So that's why, Brian, that's why they go to Flint, Michigan.
Oh, some great powdered eggs at the Holiday Inn.
I think they're bringing their own food.
Probably.
Steve, tonight, you back in TN to beat Sasha Zverev plus 180? Are we
I've rocked with TN this whole way. I feel like I'd be doing myself a disservice if I stopped riding with him now.
Yeah, I like the way you put that because I think I was going to back him regardless of what you said.
If Alexander Zverev, if Sasha can prove me wrong, then I'll be damned. But
he's another guy who just goes, and I don't know that the results are there for how highly consistently high his ranking is, and doesn't have a lot to show for it. I feel like
That's how I feel about a lot of golfers. A lot of golfers I always see at the top. It's like they never win anything.
Tough to beat Scotty.
Tough to beat Scotty. Good point.
But what are you, big Zverev guy too?
I mean, I like Zverev. I think he's got. I mean, he's what 6'5". He hits the ball so well. He puts so much heavy topspin on it. He just literally chokes whenever the moment's too big, and it's just. I don't think he'll ever be able to get over that. He's probably gotten to the point where I think he just kind of lives with that and knows that that's always going to be in the back of his head. This kid,
do you see any chance of him winning this tournament?
In my opinion, I think he's got the worst chance out of everyone left.
Mm.
Just because he's number 3 in the world. I mean, until he can show me he has that next step, he can take that next step and not falter a first and second serve 2 times in a row when he's up 4-1. I need to see a little bit more from him now that he's a vet on the tour and just is one of those guys that a lot of people just don't expect to win anything anymore. It's kind of gotten sad for him.
Yeah, it's very true. Well said.
Well, he may have the worst chance, but I think it'd be sacrilegious if we brought you on and we didn't get your picks. As it stands right now, men's and women's side, who has the best chance to take this thing home?
I'm gonna go ahead and take on the men's side. I'm
Do it. Do it.
Who you taking?
USA.
Gun to your head. Who you taking?
I really want to take Ben Shelton, man.
USA.
From the way he's been playing,
He's not going to win.
I mean,
I tell you right now, he's not. I tell you right now, Shelton is not winning. And I know he's American. I know we want to back him. I know he's playing well. Not winning.
Could be a great. His girlfriend just got paid.
Steve, you're biased. You're biased because his play style resembles Rafa. So that's why you're biased. You want to see that. I'm telling you right now, Shelton, not yet. Won't happen this time. There's something about him, man, where again, just you can't overcome the Giants.
I think I'm going to keep my picks the same. I'm going to keep Shelton as my dark horse all the way through. And I'm going to keep Sinner as my main pick. I think Sinner will be fine. I don't think he'll.
I'll give you a cop out
anymore.
here. You can say the winner of this match between Sinner and Shelton will win the Australian Open.
I'll take that. Yeah. The winner of the Shelton Sinner match, I'll ride to win the rest of the Open. But I think they are going to have to go through Carlos Alcaraz to win it because that man does look damn good on the other side. I faulted him last week and thought he was going to struggle. Kid hasn't lost a set and is now on his first quarterfinals in the Australian Open. He's played very well. You guys know me. I love Carlos Alcaraz. I want to brag on him every second I can, but I got to back with my picks. Yeah, the winner of that Shelton Center match will be my men's winner. And on my women's side, I'll honestly do the same thing. Whoever wins this match tonight, Sabalenka versus Jovic, since we're filming this on Monday night, I think that'll be my winner too, because Sabalenka took out my dark horse already in Mboko. She was my chalk pick. If Jovic can take it out, I don't hate Jovic at plus 450 right now, man. That could be a good
450 to win tonight. Throw it in with Lerner TN. I feel a lot more confident with TN. I feel a lot more confident.
Sabalenka is a tank.
A tank. She's like
a tank.
Built like a man, 27 years old, like fully developed. Like Jovic she's a child. She just turned 18.
And I was just talking about the success, man. But yeah.
I mean, it's true.
Sorry. It is true.
That was good.
Not one lie was said.
Not one lie was said. Different thought processes. Yeah, for me though, I mean, tennis you can I guess out physical. The physicality can be too much. And that's right where I go with that is like, if you see, dude, Sabalenka is absolutely built like a tank.
Yeah.
If this was probably any other slam, Jovic would definitely have a better chance. But the Australians love Sabalenka, and they basically kind of treat her like they're one of their. She's one of their own, and they cheer for her so loud. If you listen to her matches, it sounds like she's an Aussie. I'm just like, my goodness. And that could be where the 18-year-old Eva Jovic does fall, where just that crowd where it's been rooting for her for the last 4 matches, it finally turns on her. Or who knows, it could be a neutral crowd tonight, but I don't know. Sabalenka has the history here. She usually has the crowd here. I'm going to have to probably go with Sabalenka to win it all still.
Tennis. Sorry, you go, Jack.
I was gonna ask Steve. Do you know why the Australians love her so much?
I mean,
she wins there.
She's won there. What, I believe twice. She's been, I think 4 finals there. She's comes to Brisbane or Adelaide a lot. The week before, plays there and usually wins there, and just gets to know people and gets immersed in the culture. Just, I don't know. And people love Sabalenka everywhere.
That's enough.
For reasons. Even on the U.S. Open, they'll cheer for her like crazy until she's playing an American, obviously. But she's just one of those likable players on tour for a lot of the world. I mean, she does have the certain comments she puts out at times that can be perceived as questionable, but a lot of the times I think it's her not being able to find the right words, the right English words when she's frustrated.
A little bit of a language barrier.
Yeah.
Speaking of
questionable, I like that.
Speaking of weird press, or I guess words, press conferences, what was with that Osaka, like hyping herself up and then her opponent getting all mad at her? Did you see that press conference?
I mean, I think it's disrespectful, but I think it's okay, like, to do it in the match if you've been doing it all match. Like, there's a lot of players I grew up that do that. They don't do it obviously between your first and second serve, but in between points, I was taught even as a kid tennis is a very big mental game, and you want to get in your opponent's head. And on the other side, when you're returning, my coach would always tell me, when you feel like you need a little bit of like a jolt or a pick me up or something, tap your racket on the ground twice, shuffle your feet around, and say, come on, let's do this. And I think Osaka was doing it a little bit louder.
She was overkill. Because like, it was a little bit extra, you could tell.
The fact that I can hear it on camera very, very easily, it was definitely overkill. And that's the part where I found a little bit disrespectful, because you can hype yourself up, but you're not supposed to just be yelling that out there, and you're supposed to be more visible and it's intimidating that way to your opponent, but not in that annoying kind of way. That's almost high school girls tennis, and I've seen a lot of that because we've played our matches together, and trust me, some of those matches get intense.
I was gonna say it just seems like Bush League.
Kind of is.
I mean, the crowd
Definitely.
too, when Osaka was talking after, it was like they were a live studio audience for a comedy show. Like,
I mean, for a girl that says she doesn't want a lot of attention, sure brings a lot of attention to herself.
Dude, I can't stand Osaka. I like literally root against her every single major. I can't stand her. Just so annoying. So just horrible. Can't stand her. Anyway, but what you brought up the mental game. And just to kind of wrap it up with Sabalenka, I think the mental game, when she gets a little rattled or she can tell it's swaying out of her way, she's really good at causing those on-court semantics or whatever you want to call it. And, obviously Jovic never being there before. I think, Sabalenka is a very, very experienced mental game artist, so to speak. She's well prepared for this moment, and already just being so much more capable physically. I think you add the mental game in. How do you not take Sabalenka to win 2 sets straight here? The more and more I think about it,
You're 100% right. I mean, she's hands down the best women's player on tour right now. I mean, she hits the ball so well. She's been striking the ball so clean the last, I'm going to say 3 weeks now, because I'm going to include her Brisbane title that she won. And I agree with you, man. She's been hitting the ball clean, striking the ball well, serving amazing. She's got the experience. She's got the crowd. And I think at the Australian Open, experience is one of the biggest things, because every player has had at least 6 to 8 weeks off, and everyone's healthy. Everyone's ready to go. Everyone's ready to give it their all. I think it's when you get to the French, Wimbledon, US Open, you've had 2, 5, 7 months on your legs already. Your wheels are already getting all their treads gone, and a lot more injuries happen, a lot more withdrawals happen. You see on both sides that there's very good talent left on both sides of the women's and men's draw left. That's what happens when you're able to have a off season and have these players healthy. We get the best result at the Australian Open, which is why I think they call it the happy open. Everyone's happy because they're not dead.
right? It's true.
And who doesn't want to be in Australia right now?
I mean,
yeah,
right now,
yeah.
the whole world is freaking freezing over right now, and
is
Australia
it-
is at 90 degrees with
Oh,
100% humidity right now. And
man, that's what I'm talking about.
That'd be
Yeah.
nice.
That'd make me pretty happy.
I think
I
NBL's
agree.
coming up too. Go watch some basketball down there.
it'd be so nice.
All right,
Brian
well,
with the NBL locks.
yeah, dude, that league getting away
That's
from
what
me.
you want to call them.
Bryce Cotton left in free agency. I need to study up on my NBL.
Just like the Eurobasket.
That's coming down the wire too. Here, we'll see. We'll see who's left in that coming up here soon. But Steve, thank you for coming on, making us smarter, and
Of course. Thank you for having
giving
me
me
on.
some faith in Ben Shelton. One last time, shout out that podcast where people can find you.
Yes, sir. It's going to be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I believe it's free to listen to on both. It's called The Drop Shot. Got 2 co-hosts. Don't know if they're going to be consistently on, but we're going to be trying to give y'all all the best tennis news in the world.
Sweet, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will be a weekly listener as I try to get smarter about tennis, and everyone else should be too. And we got 2 weeks until the Super Bowl here. So everybody stay tuned. Our drinking game's coming out soon. We're selling our Super Bowl squares, filling up very fast. We've already got like 50 down. So if you want to get into that, Go buy some soon. And we'll see you guys on Thursday.
Go Birds.